just got to
What player does that?
We just got to call a spade, and I agree with Kate.
And half of our team is shit, and they need to be let go.
Look,
and it's because idiots like Levy don't let them go.
Because the whole Levy argument, I hear it, but there's nothing we can do about Levy. What you need is a manager that can work with the establishment. Pochettino, whether you liked it or not, he did an all right job. Conte, whether you liked it or not, he did an all right job. They fell out because we weren't ready to spend the money on the players that he wanted. The same thing with Mourinho. So it made me realize that Spurs ain't ready to spend big. But there are other managers, and Kate is right. If Areola had our squad, we would not be 15th. Yes, granted, we might not win a trophy, but we wouldn't be 15th, mate. And that is the issue. The issue here is not about trophies no more.
I'm not against that. I'm not against
that. What I also want to say is this. As much as I love Spurs, I'm not so proud to suggest that if we stick with this manager, somehow we won't go down. At the rate we are going down first. We are going down first, mate. That is what we've got to wake up and see. But look, Everton is now a point behind us with a game in hand. Leicester is 4 points behind Spurs. Kate asked the question, where do you see Spurs picking up points? If safety is 40 points, I can't see Spurs picking up 16 points between now and the end of the season with this manager. So if we don't go, then we have to accept that we're going down, and maybe we're going down with a trophy. And I will ask the question, was it worth it?
But Deji, you said Spurs were better than Arsenal. You can't still think your squad's better than Arsenal's, Deji. Have you changed your mind now?
Do you know what it is? That's such a lazy comment. Because Postecoglou has mismanaged this squad, all of a sudden my squad is not better. You heard Kate, you heard box office. Had we been under another manager, maybe this team does better. The truth of the matter is Arsenal remain the spicy Spurs, the red Tottenham, Scotch Bonnet FC, Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I ain't going to depart from that, to be honest with you. That's who they are. So I don't give a damn. But I would like to say I agree with my learned friends on the panel. I think we've got a real decision to make. And the decision is this. You know, does Ange stay in charge for the Liverpool game? Because there were a lot of Tottenham fans shaking their bum violently when we got rid of Mourinho. And I would say, rightly so. I didn't see us winning under Mourinho. I don't see us winning under Postecoglou. But, you know, in terms of Arsenal's squad, the truth is, what does Scotch Bonnet FC, Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Red Tottenham, what are they going to achieve? Nothing. So
we might stay in the league.
We're just as bad as each other. In fact, I'm not going to lie. I look at Arsenal and I see Red Spurs.
Hang on a minute. You can't say a team second in the league is as bad as a team 15th.
They are red top.
I love you, Deji. I love it. I'm not gonna lie.
Body, bruv. How are you feeling?
Yeah. I mean, look, you know, hell has frozen over when I sit here having to agree with 70% of Gooner Lee. Apart from the last little bit that Gooner Lee was saying, I was in total agreement until he started waffling about he hopes my team will think that would never happen. But look, let's talk about it. So Tottenham did try, and I rate Dan for picking up on that. Spurs tried, but we were always behind the curve. You know, when we brought in Conte, Mourinho, it was because everyone told us we needed to win a trophy now, whatever trophy that was. Pochettino, we should have left him in charge. Nuno, we should have given him enough time. And then we've got Postecoglou, who clearly is out of his depth. And for me, we know he's out of his depth because several times this season, we have seen Spurs take a lead and fumble the lead. And I noticed this from Brighton. Spurs were 1-0 up at halftime today. Go on, win. This is a dusty Leicester team. And within 5 minutes of the second half, we are 2-1 down. That is my club all over. Now, I will say that the players brought in under a different manager, when you look at the Fulham team and the players they have, when you look at the Bournemouth team and the players they have, you can't tell me that with a good manager, they can't work something with a Romero. They can't work something with, you know, a Kulusevski. Maybe they might even find and get a tune out of Brennan Johnson. But Postecoglou is a madman. And what I'm finding difficult to understand is how comes he's getting time? No other manager with this run of games gets the amount of time that this madman has got. But the problem is, Gunnar Lee is right. We have spent our time in Arsenal's shadow, chasing after Arsenal's bum. The reason why Postecoglou is still in charge today is for one reason and one reason only. Arteta. Because Arteta turned it around in the third season, we are hoping, living on a wing and prayer, that he can turn it around in our third season. The other thing is, like you said, Dan, we sacked our manager on the eve of a final. The truth is, when Spurs were under Mourinho, he had washed out every motivation from the club, that even leaving him there did not guarantee us winning. But I take the point, we should have allowed him to see it through. Postecoglou now, because of that, is staying in the job. Staying in the job as we go tumbling down the hill. Do you get what I'm saying? And for me now, I've never seen Spurs so bad. But I know the reason why we're so bad is because of this manager. We've seen a bounce from West Ham. We've seen a bounce from all these other teams. But I'm not seeing a bounce because until Tottenham changed this guy, we are going down and down and down fast. And for the first time, Tottenham is relegation fodder. We are going down. Unless we change this up now, Postecoglou will take Spurs to hell. We will be standing at the gate of Hades, and he'll be telling us, don't worry, it's injuries. It's got nothing to do with injuries. He's cracked. He's out of his depth. And I can't believe Levy is giving this guy a job. So look, I take everyone's point. The thing is, when I was making my predictions earlier in the season, no doubt all of you would agree. When you have a manager, you expect your manager to improve on the previous season. If that's not the case, then Arsenal fans wouldn't be shouting for Arteta out. When you're finishing second in the Prem, how comes your job is on the line? Your job's on the line because you have to improve. Stalemate or doing the same thing is not good enough. You have to show progression unless you're at the very top. So when you got fifth last season, I'm expecting progression. Natural. Everyone is expecting that. Areola came in last season for Bournemouth. What are you seeing?
Deji, the reason why we all thought that you were coming out of a loony bin is because you said that you were in a title race with Arsenal and Man City. The evidence is there. So your level of expectation when it comes to your level floor raiser is way off the Richter scale of normacy. You believed with your manager and with your same board you're cussing now, that you had a good enough squad to be in a title race. And you said that you were going to be in the same position where Arsenal and Man City. Now it hasn't transpired for either of those clubs.
What was the operative word you used? Good enough squad. Yeah, that squad is good enough to be top four. I still stand by that. But it's been mismanaged.
Again, for you to win, I think that it's going to be very hard with your ownership. It's going to be very hard. You spent money this year. But
do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? That whole narrative about it's hard for you to win, all of that. I've heard it before. I keep saying the point is this. There's nothing we can do about the owners. So what needs to happen? No, they're not leaving, bro. Unless someone is ready to spend, unless somebody's ready to spend £5 billion on Tottenham, it ain't gonna happen. Because that's how much he's put Spurs up for. And who's gonna spend £5 billion?
Spurs. So someone with money, I don't know about 5 billion, but there's a lot of potential.
But that's how much he's valued Tottenham with everything, with all the gubbins that come with Spurs. Do you get what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is that we need a manager that can work with minimal tools and get a tune out of bang average players. Gunnar Lee's talking about bang average players. Fulham's team is bang average. The players are bang average.
And this is my point.
Team is like, bro, you got Haaland rejects, bro. Banging
what about Nuno? You're looking at him. You had Nuno. Look what he's doing.
For Palace. These are average guys.
No, I'm not. Okay, what I'm saying is the players that you have are both on the same level.
Well, a lot of us have played football on the panel. you've got what you've got. Yeah, I reckon this squad that Postecoglou has is better than the squad that Conte had, barring Kane. He's had a better squad at his disposal, and like you said, with this squad, we should not be where we are. We are underachieving. A second-name manager is underachieving with a squad. I'm saying, I'm not even saying overachieve. Let's say I would take the 7th right now. The 7th you predicted, I would take that in a heartbeat. But we are bloody 15th and heading lower. So for me, I can't understand why this brother's in a job. Any other manager in the league would be higher with this same squad. That's the point I'm trying to make. So therefore, we talk about the squad, the club problems, yes. But let's just pin this on the real issue. The manager right now ain't good enough. Because for me, if Oliver Glasner, does not do better than the previous season. So let's say he's in the job this season. If next season Palace go below, he loses his job. That's how it works. You don't just hang in there and see what happens next. That's what we're doing at Tottenham. We're just hanging in there. And I agree with this comment in the chat, LFC Monster. I would bring back Harry Redknapp. I would. Bring back somebody. I would.